The Marines hit the beach at 9 in the morning, February 19th, 1945. Waves of landing craft, men wading through black volcanic sand. They climb the steep ash dunes. 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. Nothing happens. 9 months of bombardment, the longest in the Pacific War. The island is silent, then it wakes up. Artillery from positions that don't exist. Mortar shells, machine gun fire from bunkers no one can see. Marines dive for cover in sand that gives no cover. The volcanic slopes become a kill zone with nowhere to go but forward into the guns or back into the sea. 20 meters underground, half a kilometer inland, Lieutenant General Tadamichi Kuribayashi stands in a concrete chamber, watching through a periscope. Around him, 11 miles of tunnels. Above him, the Americans dying on his beaches. He does not move. He does not give unnecessary orders. He watches the trap he spent 8 months building do exactly what he designed it to do. And he knows they will keep coming. He knows they will win. He has known this for years. 8 months earlier, Kuribayashi is summoned to Prime Minister Tojo's office. He is told he has been selected to defend Iwo Jima. The eyes of the nation are upon him. What Tojo does not say, this is a suicide mission. No reinforcement, no retreat, no extraction. Kuribayashi is 53, 6th generation samurai, former cavalry officer who trained at Fort Bliss, Texas in the 1920s. That's a man who traveled across America and wrote home about its factories, its highways, the energy of its people. Who wrote to his wife, "The US is the last country in the world Japan should fight. Its industrial potential is huge and fabulous." Who has said privately that this war is unwinnable and should end in negotiated peace. These opinions have not made him popular. His assignment to an indefensible rock may not be coincidence. But if they expect him to die quickly, they are wrong. And on the morning of his departure, his wife serves herring wrapped in seaweed, rice with red beans. He tells her it is unlikely even his ashes will return. She does not take him seriously. He looks too relaxed. The day before, he met with the emperor in private audience. In his letter home afterward, he does not mention the emperor. He writes about the broken kitchen draft he regrets not fixing. He includes a diagram so his son can repair it. Then he sails for Iwo Jima and begins to build. In 8 square miles of volcanic rock and sulfur vents, black ash beaches, no jungle, no mountains. The Americans will bombard it from sea and air until nothing lives on the surface. So he goes beneath it. Engineers carve chambers out of volcanic rock in heat that reaches 50 degrees Celsius. They wear gas masks against sulfur fumes so thick a man can work 5 minutes before relief. 1 canteen of water per day. Chronic diarrhea. Empty stomachs. They dig anyway. Marked 11 miles of tunnels by the time the Americans arrive. Caves from 3-man fighting positions to command bunkers holding 300. Multiple entrances. Ventilation shafts, interconnected passageways. Some installations 7 levels deep. Inside Mount Suribachi alone, 7 stories spiral down into the earth. Kuribayashi's orders are simple. Do not defend the beaches. Do not launch banzai charges. Do not waste men on honor. Make the Americans pay for every meter with blood. When a position is overrun, fall back through the tunnels. Reappear somewhere else. Kill 10 Americans before you die. Not because it will bring victory, there is no victory, but because if the cost of taking one 8-mile island is high enough, perhaps America will flinch before invading Japan itself. Perhaps a negotiated peace becomes possible. Perhaps the war he knew was madness will end before the homeland burns. But he writes to his men, "We shall defend our bases to the limit of our strength. We shall infiltrate the enemy's lines and exterminate them. We shall never be killed before killing 10 enemy soldiers." Not soldiers shall. We shall. He includes himself. The Americans land. The tunnels exhale. For 36 days, Iwo Jima eats 3 Marine divisions. They advance meter by meter into a fortress with no flanks and no rear. Some artillery fires from positions that vanish the moment counter-battery opens up. Marines clear a bunker in the morning and take fire from it again at night. The tunnels allow troops to move unseen, to reoccupy what was lost. Every piece of ground kills twice. Flamethrowers burn out cave entrances. The Japanese retreat deeper. Explosives seal tunnel mouths. New entrances open behind American lines. The island is a living thing. February 23rd. The Marines take Mount Suribachi. When 6 men raise a flag on its summit, the photograph will circle the world. Beneath the mountain, 7 stories of tunnels, still full of Japanese troops, still fighting. Kuribayashi is running out of time, 100 rounds per gun, water nearly gone. The Americans control 2/3 of the island. Admiral Nimitz declares victory on March 14th. The tunnels are still alive. March 17th. Kuribayashi radios a final message to Imperial headquarters. Though he describes the gallant fighting of his men, says they have continued to fight, though utterly empty-handed. He attaches 3 traditional death poems. They are subtle protest, reproach to the commanders who sent men to die without the tools to win. March 22nd. American loudspeakers broadcast surrender appeals into the remaining positions. Kuribayashi radios Tokyo. We are still fighting. The strength under my command is now about 400. Tanks are attacking us. So the enemy suggested we surrender through loudspeaker, but our officers and men just laughed and paid no attention. Evening of March 23rd. Kuribayashi sends his last transmission to the garrison on Chichijima, the neighboring island where officers have followed his fight for 5 weeks. 7 words. All officers and men of Chichijima, goodbye from Iwo. He reaches up and unpins his insignia. Rank markers, medals, anything identifying him as an officer. He sets them aside in the darkness. He will not be captured. He will not be identified. He will not let the Americans parade a Japanese general as proof of concept. The radio goes silent. Major Hori tries to raise him for 3 days. Static. Just before dawn, March 26th, Kuribayashi steps out of the tunnel with the few hundred men who remain. Around him, 8 square miles of sulfur and ash and volcanic rock, worthless except for its airstrips. 21,000 of his men are buried in it now, burned in it, sealed in its tunnels forever. Nearly 7,000 Americans dead. 36 days that were supposed to take 5. He does not think about whether it mattered. He knows it didn't. But it is dawn, and he is still alive, and the island is quiet for just this moment. Then he turns toward the American lines and moves into the darkness. His body is never found. Somewhere in the volcanic ash, the general became indistinguishable from the 21,000 men he led into annihilation. 36 days on Iwo Jima killed more Marines than all of World War I. American strategists looked at casualty projections for invading the Japanese home islands and saw Iwo Jima multiplied by 100. They made a different calculation. 5 months later, atomic bombs fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The man who warned Japan not to fight America had made that fight so costly that America ended it with nuclear fire instead of invasion. Before he left for Iwo Jima, Kuribayashi stood in his garden with his family and went inside to draw his wife a diagram for fixing the kitchen draft. The camera holds on his face in that photograph. In the darkness behind him, the unfinished repair, the diagram folded in a drawer. The draft still broken,